I want to mention one technical issue before we get any deeper. Now, you haven't seen the In5 embed plugin yet, but I did want to show you when we're uploading, there is a note on screen that tells you what the maximum upload file size is for your server. In this case, it says 10 megabytes. Well, that's not going to be enough for a lot of our projects that have graphics and maybe movies. So I want to show you how to increase that limit. There is an article in the Ajar Productions knowledge base that talks about how you increase this. Basically, there's a simple text file that configures PHP, which is the scripting language, on your server to set a maximum upload size. And what we need to do is set a higher setting so that we can upload bigger files. Now, there's some important notes in this particular article. The main thing you need to know is that this Php Ini file that contains the settings, it's just a text file, but it's non-recursive, meaning that it has to go in any folder in order to apply these settings to that folder. So even if I put it at the root level of my server, it's not going to trickle down or cascade to subfolders. The important thing about the WordPress setup is that we're in the WP admin folder when we are doing admin work, like in our dashboard or editing a post. So we want to go into that folder and update the settings there by creating a Php Ini file. So for now, I'm just going to copy this text. Then I'm going to go into cPanel, which is my account management panel here. So now from here, there's a couple ways I can modify this. First, let me just type in ini, and you can see there is a Php Ini Editor in here. This provides me a way to edit the settings without actually going into a text file. So if I select my site and I scroll down, you can see that those two settings that were in the article, post max size and upload max file size, are both in here, and I could set them here. Now this might work, so you can go ahead and try this, but as I said, sometimes these settings don't trickle down to other directories. So I want to show you how to manually put it in that WP admin directory. I'm going to go back, and instead of filtering for INI, I'm going to filter for file and grab the file manager. You can also do this via FTP. I talked about that a little bit in the web hosting course. So I'm just going to double click on public HTML, which is going to get me into the site. You can see there's that blog directory that I created when I installed another blog. Otherwise, most of this is really created by that initial WordPress instance that was created when we bought the hosting and it installed automatically. I'm going to go into the WP admin folder and just scroll down to see if I can find a Php Ini file. It doesn't seem to be there, so I'm going to create a new one just by clicking the plus file button. And I'll call it php.ini. Create the file, and then I'm going to scroll down and find it. If I double click, it tries to edit it. But what I want to do is edit in here, so I'll just select it and click the edit button. And you can see it's an empty file, so I'm just going to paste in that code from the solutions article. Now I want these to match. I want them to be, let's say I only need 100 megabytes for now, but you could set this to whatever fits your needs. So I'll say save changes. Now if I go in and I reload the page and I go to embed something with In5, you can see the maximum upload file size has changed to be 100 megabytes now. That's what you want to look for. Otherwise, you're going to get an error that says either your file is too big or it's just going to error out and not give you a message because the server couldn't handle a file that big. So that's really important, and it's the one technical thing you might have to really get your hands around to set up your site. Once it's set up, you don't really have to do anything after that. You really need a decent upload size to upload rich content, like I said, with images and videos and all that cool interactive stuff you want to create. Now that we've got WordPress configured, let's move on to setting up Wishlist Member.